Welcome to part 3 of our series, Community Resilience in Tough Times, in collaboration with Moreton Bay Business. And in this particular segment, I'm talking about business innovation in tough times. My name is Retha de Villiers Scheepers, and I'm doing this series in collaboration with Steve Butler from Innovate Moreton Bay, based on the research that my colleague and I, Noel Tracy, have just completed within the Moreton Bay region. So when we look at business innovation in tough times, we need to step back a little bit and realize that while our businesses are doing it tough, our customers might be doing it tough too. And if we are realizing that we're kind of in similar boats, then maybe we can really focus on what is the value that we are providing in our businesses to our customers. Specifically, when we talk about value, we're talking about the value proposition. Now, the value proposition is the promise that you as a business are providing to your potential customer and telling them what is all the benefits that they'll receive when they buy products and services from you. It really explains how the problem that they're experiencing is being solved by the product or service that you sell, or how it may make their lives better, or their lives easier, or how it's better than what anybody else provides. A good example of this that you might be familiar with is the website Bitly. Bitly helps you to take this long link that you may have for a URL address that you want to direct your customers to shorten it and make it like this really short link that is a lot more user-friendly, if you like, and doesn't take up half of the screen. So Bitly's value proposition to their customers are to shorten, share, and measure. It's very nice and succinct. The reason for this is that with the Bitly link, not only can marketers shorten the link and helps them to easily share that link, and then they can actually track who clicks through on that link. That's a very nice and succinct way to explain very shortly exactly what the value proposition is. And so when businesses go through tough times, it helps you to really focus on what is that core value proposition that you might be offering to your customers. To do that, you need to have a good knowledge of who's your tribe. Who are your customers? Who are the loyal users and customers that will engage with you, that 20% of your customers that deliver 80% of your revenue? What are the benefits that you are providing to them? What are the things they really value? So a big advantage for small businesses is that you can work on a real niche strategy, a really small, well-built gap in the market that you can serve. So value innovation that Kim and Morborn talked about in their work really helps us to focus on what are the key things that customers value. So the value proposition that the business offer might have a lot of bells and whistles and strings and all the rest attached to it. But the point is that customers probably value just a couple of key features of what's being provided, and they have to pay for all the rest, but they don't really value the other parts. So for a business to step back and have a look at where the real value is focusing on what is it that customers really find valuable and how valuable do they find it. Do you really need to have all the bells and the whistles, that tunes that play in 5 different keys? What is it that are the key things that customers really value? So focusing on those key attributes that are highly desired by business and increasing those that customers already want and reducing and eliminating those that customers don't want can lead to a value proposition that fits with what customers want, and the business in essence reducing costs in the process as well. So a great example of this is in budget hotels, of a study which Kim and Morborn did at the turn of the century, but is still very relevant today as businesses go through tough times. So Formula One budget hotels was really born out of the system that we found that on average 1-star hotels and 2-star hotels were offering very similar types of packages of value. So when we break down the value that's in an accommodation provider, that could be eating facilities, architectural aesthetics, lounges, the room size, the receptionist, the furniture, bed quality, the hygiene, the room quietness, and price. So a whole bundle of value, right? But when Formula One did the research with customers, what they found customers really valued was a great night's sleep, a clean room, a quiet room at a good price. These were the key things that customers valued. They didn't really care too much about the eating facilities and the lounges. Receptionist and furniture and so on was okay, but not critical. So what Formula One budget hotels did is they focused on those 3 key aspects that are critical to the customer's experience and providing a better experience than the average 2-star hotel would, and then offering it at a 1-star hotel price or slightly above. And that really attracted a lot of customers for them and helped them to create a whole new cycle of innovation in the accommodation industry. Now that's a really simple example, but what does it actually mean for you? So it really means in going back and talking to those 20% of customers, your loyal customers that are continuously in conversation with you, and finding out what it is that they really value about the business. And then focusing on those attributes where benefits could be added or increased and where it could be decreased or deleted because customers simply don't care about that. And your business is paying to provide those benefits to them. So we can do this in a value proposition canvas by really focusing on our customers, asking ourselves, what are the actual jobs that they need to get done? How does our product or service help them do those jobs? How does it exceed their expectations, give them some gains which they didn't expect to find? And how does it alleviate some of the pains or the frustrations that they may be experiencing? And then making sure that when we create the product, as you see on the left-hand side of the canvas, we make sure that those products and services can do the jobs, but also do more of the things that are pleasurable to them and really address those pains and create great value for them. A company that has found themselves in Samford Valley with this sort of problem is STEMpunks. So you might know that STEMpunks provides science, technology, engineering, and maths education to students, mostly through school-based programs. And what they were doing pre-COVID-19 is providing an online platform to teachers so that they could access a lot of resources. And what they found in the COVID-19 environment, that they had a full calendar of bookings to almost nothing within a month, really changed things massively for them. So Michael and his partner just had to go and decide what is it that they really need to do. And they went back to the drawing board and said, what is it that not only teachers, but parents also struggled with? And they ensured that they were creating then a new online learning platform, which they had in the past, but they now use that to create content for children to use at home. So they've set up a studio in Samford where they can film and put together 4 to 5 programs each week. They're producing live lessons on YouTube and social media. And suddenly it's sort of changed their whole offering, not just to school programs, but also home programs where they almost developed a whole new product range. So it's amazing what our fellow businesses have been doing in this really tough time. So as key takeaways for you then, when we're looking at the current business circumstances, we know that tough times disrupt the status quo. it's not going to be business as usual. So for most businesses, this requires stepping back and asking themselves, how can we offer value innovation for our customers? And as we discussed in this segment, there's different ways to do that. It's not only about cutting costs, but it's also about which areas value can be increased in terms of the value that's really solving a customer problem. So there are opportunities, there are silver linings amidst the dark clouds. It's up to you to find them. And so I ask you, what advantage can you take of the opportunities that's being created in this crisis?